What's up, guys? It's your boy Jay, and this is another episode of 5 Years Time. And this time we have Manchester United. And I know in the last video, my mic was absolutely terrible, and that is why I have just completely changed my mic, and I'm never going to use that mic again in future videos, just because of the quality. It has really good quality, but just I'm not even going to go into detail. Let's just carry on with the video. So this time we are doing Manchester United, and obviously I'm just going to do it in the same format I've done in the previous video. So first player we do have up is Phil Jones, the creator of the Jones face, and he actually does have he is actually really young, and he doesn't seem it, but he actually is. He's only 21 at the moment, and as you can see by that is why in 5 years time he has absolutely ridiculous stats, especially for a centre back, and you can see, 19 tackling, 18 determination, 18 leadership, and I think if you just did see, he actually is current captain of Manchester United. Whether he is captain of Manchester United in 5 years' time, you will never know. Anyway, we do have next up Danny Welbeck. I used to call him No Goals Welbeck, and I still can, because he scored, 2 goals against Swansea in the first game of the season. I don't think he's actually scored again, so I'm still going to call him No Goals Welbeck. But anyway, we do have Danny Welbeck here, and 5 years later on, he's still, I can't really say he's No Goals Welbeck when he has 39 international goals. But anyways, you can see, he does have really good stats: 14 finishing, 14 dribbling, 15 first touch, 13 heading, 12 passing, work rate 18, off the ball, the stats you'd want in a striker. Next up, we do have Manchester United's #1 goalkeeper, David De Gea, and he probably could go on to do well, and these stats that you're seeing are probably what he actually is potentially reaching. He's a bit unlucky to be a Spanish goalkeeper, because they have such great goalkeepers in Casillas, even though no one ever really benches Casillas when it comes to the international team. And then they have Diego Alves? No, he's a Brazilian one. Diego Lopez, and which one? Anyway, he is a bit unlucky to be playing for Spain. As 5 years later, he still only has 15 appearances for Spain, which just show you how good the Spanish goalkeepers are. But, some of these stats is absolutely amazing. 18 reflexes, 15 one-on-ones, 18 handling, 18 command of the area, I think that is. Yeah, it is. And just what you'd want in a goalkeeper. Next up, we do have Manchester United's right back, which is Rafeal, and I think everybody knows how good this guy is, and he's just a really good right back, and has been Manchester United's best right back for a while now, and he's still at the only tender age of 22 in real life. He's obviously would be 27 now, and you can see he has the stats of a right back: the work rate, the tackling, and concentration. He does have really high stats. Next, we have Shinji Kagawa, and this guy, I don't understand. If you know the current situation in Manchester United, David Moyes has just not been playing him, and you can see in their results they need to play like him. And I think he has actually started Man United's last 2 games, and what a coincidence is that they've both won those games. Kagawa is absolutely an amazing player. And one of the reasons why I hear about him a lot is because when he did first come to the Premier League, it was when Eden Hazard came first to the Premier League, and there was so much comparisons between these two, and they are 2 really good players, but really complete different players. As you could just tell by his stats, he's not as direct as Hazard. He makes his by his his decisions, his creativity, his passing. And obviously Hazard is a more wing player, he likes to dribble a lot, and as you can see, Shinji Kagawa he does have a good dribbling, but not as good as Hazard. But with this, this is Manchester United, and we're not going to go into comparisons, we can do it on a different day. It's the big man that is Marouane Fellaini, and that afro, Jesus Christ, look how much of this space it takes up. But anyway, we have Marouane Fellaini, and I do question, he's one of the players I do question his move to Manchester United. Did they actually need a player like Fellaini, or did they need another Kagawa Mark II? But, he does have the great stats of a really good centre mid. He has the height advantage, and he has the strength advantage. Work rate 19, teamwork 18, passing 16 and tackling 15. You know, when you have passing and tackling in a midfielder, you know he is a really good midfielder. So next up we do have Jonny Evans, who's a player I really don't see a lot, and I'm not exactly sure why, because it's not like he's a bad centre-back, but you know, when Manchester United do have players like Phil Jones, Rio Ferdinand and Vidic all fit, you know, it is really hard for players like Jonny Evans to get games, but you know, he does have good stats, and as you can see, he does have the great physical attributes, but you know, I'm not sure if he'll be at Manchester United for much longer, but I'm not a Man United fan, and I'm not too sure why he doesn't start many games, but yeah. So next up is a Manchester United youngster who's a striker and that I've never heard of, and probably because he's only 17 at the moment, which is probably why I've never heard of him before, but he does actually have 5 years later, he has actually gone on to become a good player. You know, if you're looking at these physical stats, I'm not sure if he is really this quick in real life, but 19 acceleration and 17 pace is just absolutely ridiculously quick. With 14 finishing, you know, his heading is not there, but he's not the tallest of players. That is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm not sure if he is this quick in real life. Someone will have to either link me a video or I have to look him up himself if he actually is this quick. But yeah, for a really quick striker with great finishing and great first touch, it shows that he may have the potential to go somewhere far. So next we do have the man that is Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney, still at the age of 32, is absolutely amazing. You know, as you can see, he has gone down to become a cam, which seems to happen with many Man United strikers in the forwards, you know, as they get slower and they're not as quick, and they seem to just move down to the more central midfield, and I can see Rooney being a great centre mid in the future, because his vision, his passing and all those stats you need for a centre mid are there, and he still does have the great finishing and heading that you need as a striker, but obviously he may not be the quickest. You know, here it does say he has 14 pace and 12 acceleration, which probably would still mean he would be able to play striker as needed, but you know, at the moment right now they do have Robin van Persie when he does have his shooting boots on, so playing him behind Robin van Persie is just an absolutely great partnership. Anyway, this is Rooney 5 years later with absolutely amazing stats. So next we have a player that did just sign for Manchester United this season, which is Guilermo Varela. And I think he did go out on loan. I'm not sure if he's either on loan or he's playing with the under-21s Manchester United squad. But as you can see, 5 years later, he has become an absolutely ridiculous right back, still at only the age of 25. He still does have a bit of way to go, you know, in terms of progression, wherever he does make that. But, you know, he's absolutely really quick, 15 acceleration, 14 pace. He has the work rate and the tackling, termination and stuff like that. As you can see, his mental attributes all there over 10. And, yeah, so that is Guilermo Varela. So next we have one of the best midfielders in the Premier League by far, and that is Micheal Carrick, because he's just known for his passing. At the age of 36, you would expect his passing to not be, you know, in above the 18s, but he does still have 15 passing at the age of 36. And as you can see, these physical stats here, the ones that do stick out are the ones that are just absolutely ridiculous. You know, 18 teamwork, 19 positioning, 19 creativity, 18 composure, 19 anticipation. It's just really great for a midfielder like Micheal Carrick. So next up we have Chris Smalling, and Chris Smalling, well, if he ever does become like this, then boy, Manchester United were really did make a good buy when they brought him in from Fulham. I think they did get him from Fulham. But yeah, as you can see, you know, he has moved on to Arsenal, and his value is 24.5 million for a centre-back. That is a hell load of money. And you can see he does have really great stats. You know, 15 tackling, it may not be the best, but you know, 15 tackling is above average, and 70 positioning. You know, some of these stats, you're just looking at them and you can see why he is moved on and why he has such a high value. Next up is one of Manchester United's main prodigies, which is Nick Powell, who's on loan at Wigan, or is it Wigan or QPR? I'm not too sure, but he's on loan in the Championship with the club this season, and I think he's doing pretty well. And I do remember one reason why Man United picked him up was he scored an absolutely ridiculous long shot for Crewe Alexandria in the playoff final. And I think, you know, Alex Ferguson saw that and was like, nope, sign this kid up. And you know what he done in his Man United debut? He scored an absolutely ridiculous banger. And I'm not too sure why he's not in the Man United squad this season. I'm not sure if it's because of David Moyes coming in and they wanted him to do well in their first season. But he was loaned out. But anyways, you can see 5 years later, at the age of 24, you can see why Alex Ferguson did bring him in when he did, because he has gone on to become a really good centre mid. You know, 14 passing, you know, 10 tackling. All of his stats are above average, you know. Heading, he isn't the tallest of players as well. And free kicks, you know, obviously you can always put someone else on the free kicks. They're not great at taking free kicks, but the stats that are good are really, really good. Next on, we move on to Mr. Troublesome, which is Wilfred Zaha, and I think they could have found a better picture to have of him. But anyway, we're not talking about pictures, we're talking about stats. And he has moved on to Lokomotiv Moscow, which at this moment in time, that would be, I could definitely understand that, because he just seems to not be getting played. I'm not sure, you know, there was rumours about him and David Moyes' daughter, and I'm not sure they are real. There was just someone decided to make that up and it spreaded. But that would seem to be a valuable reason, because it's not like he's a bad player. He is a very, very good player. And you obviously want him to develop to be an even better player, because, you know, he's got the flair and he's got the dribbling and the first touch, but he's just not playing. And I do feel sorry for him. The next player is one of Manchester United's main players at the moment, and that is Tom Cleverley. And as you can see, he does have really, really good mental stats. When you're looking at him, you can just see all the blues, you know, 17, 17, 17, 15, 15, 15. And he does have also the decent passing as well at 14 stat. And at a value of 3 million at 28 years old, that's not too bad. Next, we move on to one of the most hyped up players about now, and that is Adnan Januzaj. And I just can't wait until this hype dies down. You know, the same thing has happened with many previous players in the past. You know, remember Federico Machado? Yeah, so let me just say no more. But anyway, he does actually have good stats. You know, I can't bring the guy down. He does actually have the potential to go somewhere, wherever he does. 16 free kicks. I'm not sure where they got that from, because I've never seen him take a free kick in real life. But, you know, I've never watched a Man United under-21 game, and I've never actually seen him play a full 90 minutes apart from this season. And then he does, you know, have the flair and the dribbling, which you would expect from a player like him, because that is what he's pretty much known for. And his finishing is 10, so that's great for an attacking midfielder. Next, we move on to one of Manchester United's youngsters, and I forgot to scout him. And anyway, but you can see he does have really good stats. The ones that you can see, you know, the flair and the dribbling and finishing, and his finishing is good. That should be there. You know, he's not a striker. He's an attacking midfielder, but his finishing is great. And I remember this season he went on loan to Birmingham. I think it was Birmingham. But anyway, in his first game on loan, he scored 4 goals. You know, he came into the squad and acted like it was a Sunday League game. You know, bringing a Premier League player to a Sunday League game, that is what it was like for him. He was like, this is just too easy for me. I'm just going to score an amazing hat-trick. And you know what, I'm going to top it off by scoring again. But anyway, next we move on to Nani, who at this rate, I'm positive he probably wouldn't be at Manchester United. But he still does have good stats for a 30-year-old. You know, he's still not the slowest of players, and he still has the flair which he did bring to when he first did sign for Manchester United, you know, with all the step overs and the flicks, you know, Nani this, Nani that, yeah. Then let's move on to Antonio Valencia, and he's the first of the Manchester United players that you'll see that has actually moved on to Norwich. And he would be 32 now, so he also would be probably considering whether to still be at Manchester United. And I doubt it you'll see him any longer. But, you know, he does have really, really good stats for a 32-year-old. And some of these do surprise me. You know, the 16 acceleration and the 13 pace. You know, he's probably one of the quickest players in the Prem. And he's not really known for it, because you never see him. It's every now and then, you know, you'll see him darting and you're like, wow, is that Valencia? So next we move on to Manchester United's second, third choice left back. But it is Alexander Buttner, and or Buttner, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and I've noticed I've pronounced a lot of players wrong, but don't judge me. Anyway, you know, he does have amazing stats. Then if you're looking at this little graphic here of his positions, just shows you something about this guy's stats. He can play everywhere. He may not be the best in every position, but he can literally play everywhere apart from striker, because, you know, with 7 finishing, I wouldn't want you to be playing in strike. But he can literally play everywhere. He's almost like the Dutch Philip Lahm. But, you know, at 29 years old, and he has moved on to New York Yankees, Red Bull, and you can understand why probably wasn't getting played at Man United. But anyway, next player is Darren Fletcher. And Darren Fletcher, you know, I don't know too much about Darren Fletcher. I know he's a good player, and I don't think he's got played much because of various injuries that he's had. And I don't know if he had a bit of confrontation with Alex Ferguson. But anyway, you can see his mental stats are absolutely ridiculous. And 19 teamwork, 18 positioning, 17 leadership, 18 determination. I don't really need to say anymore. You can literally see for yourself how amazing his mental stats are, and he does still have decent passing at 13 and a good first touch. Next we move on to a player that I've noticed that a lot of Man United fans do not like. I'm not too sure why, but they all seem to be complaining about him, and that is Anderson. And by looking at him, he does still look like a very decent player for a 30-year-old, and he seems to have very good passing and a great first touch that you would expect from a player like him. So we do have now Ashley Young, another player who's moved on to Norwich, who hasn't had the best of season so far, and he would definitely hope to improve. But most of his stats, this was the stats you'd expect to see here from him 5 years ago. Well, actually today, and they haven't changed at all. It just shows the consistency that this guy does have. Even though when he does play bad, he still does give 100% when he's not playing bad. I don't know if I can actually say that, but yeah. So lastly, we move on to Patrice Evra, who is Manchester United's current left back, and I'm pretty sure I've seen in the news somewhere that the season now he's playing, this is going to be his last season at Manchester United for various personal reasons. I'm not sure if it's just a rumour or it is 100%, 95% accurate, but it does look like he will be leaving, and that will give a chance for either one of the Silva brothers or Alexander Buttner to cement the first team spot. But as you can see, he does have really good stats, especially for a 36-year-old. That's absolutely amazing to have so many blue stats. And yeah, so anyway guys, this has been your boy Jay. I hope you liked this video, and I know that some of them these are really long, but it's just trying to get all the players, because I know if I leave someone out, then someone's going to complain, and obviously I can't do a video again. But anyway, if you do like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at Jerem_17. And yeah, this has been your boy Jay. Peace.